happy, like that. That's
No,
how
no,
you
I
do that.
think, dude, because you got to wing that as you go. But I would really like to hear it. As Jessica, I'm guessing you would as well.
Yes, this should be good.
Or I could do it as the William Tell Overture. Happy birthday, 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 happy
Okay, so
birthday,
let me
happy
ask you a question. You say you have, dude, you say you have
That's
flaxseed
awesome.
as part of your lunch. Are you sure that's the right? You to mix in some herbs with that inadvertently?
Not this morning, no.
Okay,
Okay, well
understood.
anyway, Jessica, happy birthday. Liz,
Thank
what a
you.
sweetheart you are to call in and do that.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, that's my job. I'm supposed to remember when people have birthdays or something.
It's hard.
You
Thanks
definitely
for
surprised
thanks.
me, Liz.
God bless Facebook for that, right?
Yeah.
All
All right. Well, have a good time, guys. I will
right.
catch
All
you guys
right.
later.
See ya.
See ya.
God, she's so irritating.
I know. She has 12 shows herself, right? And then she has to
Right?
butt into everyone else's.
Yeah, no kidding.
And how pathetic is it to use the excuse of Jessica's birthday to do it?
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just
Oh my
can't
god, you
believe it
guys.
It's
all.
embarrassing.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so the food stamp thing, we'll follow the criticism that's going to be there and house them to your point. I mean, I'm wondering why there wasn't a firestorm already, because we know it's coming. I mean, because
We
this is the
know it's coming.
because it's voter ID law 2.0. Except this is even going to be better, and by better I mean worse, because it's going to get back to as I did the comparison to the starving children, and now and we've talked about this before as being racist in and of itself as it relates to voter ID laws, because it suggests that people of color, and that's who we're talking about. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, that they're either too stupid, or they don't have the means, or any of the above to acquire a voter ID. And this bill, by the way, it doesn't have to be a driver's license or voter ID card. It can be a library card. They
Oh
just
yeah,
want to
right.
picture, yeah, they just want to picture it in a name to prove that you're here with this card. We don't know if you stole. They're not suggesting that, but prove that you did it. That you
Right.
have it legitimately.
Yeah, it's not we don't want to give you the money. It's not a way to reduce payment to,
No.
for welfare or any of the things that Republicans would be concerned about. It's merely, hey, you know what? We have this check here, and we want to make sure that you are the actual person that the check should be going to. End of story.
Well, yeah, and we've got no. I mean, you go to the store. Okay, card presented, EBT card. It says Mary Jones. Just prove to me you're Mary Jones. I mean, you have to do that sometimes to use a credit card anywhere.
Right. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay,
So,
so I want to change topic real quick.
right.
We have not done this in a while. I'm going to read a story from you, a story, and this one is going to actually kind of blow your mind a little bit because it's a little outside of what we've discussed before. And you have to tell me whether this is Portland area, San Francisco area, or Seattle area.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is an article that just appeared in this particular city's newspaper today.
Right.
Um, and I'm going to edit it to pull out
Right. Geographical locate. Yeah. Hints
right.
or what. Yeah.
An increase in blank's minimum wage is not a cure-all for
Mm.
the economy or economic equality, says one of blank's most prominent economists. The Piatowski is a professor and chairman of economics at blank University, where he also is the director of the Economic Research Center. And this is what he said about the minimum wage that has just been raised. And as you know, San Francisco's raised its wage, Seattle's raised its
Right.
wage, and
See,
the state of Oregon raised its wage. Raising it, in my mind, would not cause a large disruption, and it probably would be helpful trying to change economic inequality. But that's only a little bit of an aspect. this really is a consequence of our increasing income inequality, and we need to do something about it. But what really comes down to whether my economist is stronger than your economist. There are lots of things that are helpful and will make us grow, but it's not necessarily just an increase in the minimum wage.
Okay, so Pyatowski and I BFFs, right? So I mean, I already know the answer to the question. No, of course not. But I mean, this is kind of generic in the sense that it could have come from any one of those three areas because they've all raised minimum wage.
And what you've got is you've got the head of the econ department of the local college coming out and saying, well, this might not be the only, it may not be
right. Oh, exactly.
It may not be a cure-all.
So to me, I mean, off the top of my head, it was just a gut. And of course,
here, let me just jump in, Mike. The thing is you have to figure out of those three areas which one is the closest to sanity, because that's actually what this is. This is actually somebody in one of those three wacko areas trending sane.
okay, but when you say closest to sanity in those three areas, you're talking about a tallest midget contest. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly
okay.
So all three places are crazy, and
right.
Here you've got somebody in the midst of crazy coming out and saying, "Well, you know what? Our little crazy ideas may not be the best thing ever." So by extension, which of these three cities is the closest to reality as far as away from them as they all are?
Oh my God. I mean, Portland's in a basically conservative state when you get away from the nut job zones. I mean, let's just go with Portland for argument's sake.
You're absolutely right.
Yes. What do I win, Alex?
Tom Pyatowski is the chairman of economics at Portland State University, and he's the director of the Portland State University Economic Research Center.
Okay, so I should win something, even though it's my show and your show.
You know what? Why don't you come on over here? Let me scratch your belly and give you a little kibble. Come here.
But I was hoping for maybe like an autographed picture of you.
You know what? Here's the deal: is that I've got a third-party reseller for all of my pictures, and I can't just be distributing those willy-nilly because, as we know, supply increase causes a decrease in the price in the marketplace. So I can't disrupt the price equilibrium demand for signed pictures of me by giving you a free one.
All right. So if you trust this guy and the fact that I'm not going to get a forgery of your signature, then I'll settle for that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw that this morning. I'm looking around for what's the craziest thing that's come out of Portland, Seattle, or Portland, Seattle, or San Francisco lately. What's the craziest thing? Well, the most unexpected thing would be an economist that would come out and say that raising the minimum wage won't cure all the ills. That's the most. It's not the craziest thing, but it's the most surprising thing.
Have you ever thought about how much fun it might be to wander into a Starbucks in any of those three cities, and you got to find the most liberal of liberal area in the city in which to do that, and just to kind of sit down. You got to get a guy, that's he's in there by himself, a little round table, and you kind of sit down, maybe catty corner room to him or whatever. And I don't know, maybe he's talking on the cell phone, or you're watching what he's writing on his MacBook or whatever have you, and just engage one of those people in conversation and try to have a rational, fact-based discussion. That would actually, to me, be fun.
I think that would be impossible.
Well, you mean to have it be fun?
Oh, no, it would definitely be fun. It would totally be fun.
I mean, impossible to be fun as a result of that they would actually engage you?
Right. Or in any kind of sensible dialogue. For example, I was up not earlier this year, late last year in Santa Monica.
Uh-huh.
And, I've got that capitalist bumper sticker on the back of my car.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Do you really?
I do.
What's it say?
It says
no. It's the symbols.
It's the symbols. Yeah, it's a knockoff
okay.
of Coexist that says capitalist.
Right. Okay.
And if you go to my website, mphouse.us, you can see it, and also on my Twitter feed, which is at mphouse. Both places have that capitalist Coexist knockoff. But in Orange County, I'm very comfortable driving around with capitalist bumper sticker. When I venture up into LA County, I get concerned that I might be keyed or
Well, see, that's
stabbed or
exactly what I was thinking right now as you were saying that.
right, eggs thrown at me or whatever. But I remember I was in a parking garage in Santa Monica, and I was watching as I was walking to my car one day. I had the kids with me. So I'm walking to the car to get into the, in the parking garage. I'm walking towards the car, and from, 50, 60 feet away, I see these people standing. There's a couple, three people standing at the back of my car, obviously having a conversation, looking at it, and I could obviously tell that they were not impressed.
So did you walk up there or just kind of wait till they went away?
No, I was thinking about the same thing that you were just saying, what it would be like to engage in somebody to have a conversation about this. And I realized, yeah, that would not be worth the effort. So I just kind of slowed down until they walked off, and then I went and got in my car and drove off.
See, that's probably what I would have done. My inclination, would have been to go up there and engage, but yeah, I don't know. And you're probably right. I mean, the chances of starting a conversation with one of those nut jobs, and I'm sorry, the people who think differently than we do, often they start off, those that don't lose it right off the bat or start calling Bush names and Fox lies. I mean, there are those, they're far and few between, that you can actually get into a conversation with sometimes. My cousin is like that. But sooner or later they lose it. She does, and they have to ultimately rely on that, don't they?
Oh, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny.
But
Right.
God bless them, and I'm sorry, Barack Obama, but this commonplace for news, this common set of facts, and it even said worldview. I'm still amazed by that. I mean, I was even telling my wife. I mean, as a conservative, think back to say what you say about Vietnam, and if we were going to fight it, we should have fought it to end it and win it, and the whole bit. I think the left played an integral part in ending that war that needed to be ended one way or the other. So I would no more want to shut down the types of folks we just described in those coffee shops than I would hope they would want to shut down us. But they generally don't see the logic in that thought.
No, not at all. I'm totally comfortable with all of those different types of opinions. It's when they say, God, it's so difficult making our way through creating the world the way we envision it to be. When you have those that are opposed to it, able to voice their contrary opinion, we need to do something about that. That's the point that the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
Right, and we talk about this everything that they believe in or support leading to the ballot box or whatever have you. Why is it this same thing with the freedom of speech and the whole bit with the Obama and the tying his thing to the Williams thing. Why is it that liberals are always opposed to something? Well, no, always support the fairness doctrine, right? Or you just it leads to the ideology, and then you connect the dot to who believes in the ideology, and this is who these people are. So
Yes.
I don't know. I find them fascinating creatures, though, man.
Oh God, yes, totally.
But I wouldn't want to shut them down, as
No.
they would us with fairness doctrine.
Yep, I totally agree with you.
All right, hour and a half in the bank, man.
Yeah, no kidding. How much time do we have left? We've got like a minute and a half.
I got a couple of minutes or whatever. Yeah.
All right. Hey, so by the way, I just mentioned it. It hasn't come up yet, but I did last night a article, Ben Carson talking about the vaccine thing. He was on Chris Wallace, and they were talking about vaccines.
Right.
And which is interesting, Carson is kind of trying to do a fine line between Rand and Chris Christie and the anti-vaxxers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The vaccine thing was interesting to me because a friend of mine who I know is a conservative,
Right.
turns out she's a full-on anti-vaxxer and posted a bunch of stuff over the weekend. And I find it to be interesting that what may end up dividing lines in the Republican Party isn't Tea Party or spending or big government, small government. It might be as simple as do you vaccine your
Okay,
children?
let me ask you this real quick, and then I'll close this because I want you to bring this back in with Patty. Do you believe that the whole anti-vax thing is strictly along party lines?
No,
Conservative?
and that's exactly what Ben Carson said. It is not along party lines.
It is
I know
not
people.
along party lines.
No, I know people on both sides of the issue. On the conservative side, like I was mentioning, conservative rock star woman that I know full-on anti-vaxxer, and it
This
just
is
about
very
blew my doors
perplexing
off.
for the pro people. Okay, we're out of here again. This is the Right Mics. Bye.